Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bold and the Beautiful. Liam faces a shocking surgery and Bill drops a huge bombshell. Bold and the Beautiful 2-week spoilers for July 28th to August 8th, 2025. See Bill Spencer, Don Demont telling Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, this week that he coughed up a cool $1 million for that experimental surgery that saved his life. Liam is going to be stunned. But Bill obviously feels like it was money well spent. Things are going to blow up from there. We're going to talk about how this revelation about the money could change everything and blow this medical mystery wide open. So, with Bill and Liam having a heavy talk, Bill is expressing his love and how much he's glad that he still has life to live. That's the context of when Bill reveals the price tag for Liam getting his new lease on life. Of course, you'll recall that Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, approached Bill when Liam was still zonked out from the bullet removal surgery. Grace heard Bill say he'd do anything to save Liam, and all she heard was cha-ching. Grace decided on that $1 million price tag and Bill agreed. But that was not legit medicine going on there. I'm still very certain that Grace was running a long con, faking the cancer and drugging Liam to cause symptoms. This conversation with Bill could be the tipping point toward that revelation. Right now, Liam knows it was experimental surgery. But Bill can't really explain the science, just that it's a miracle. When he tells Liam he paid $1 million, that's part of Bill showing how far he'd go for his son. Liam is grateful. We've seen Finn, Tanner Novlin, and Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, discussing the breach of protocol when Grace released Liam from University Hospital to get this experimental procedure. That was dodgy because Liam had just rolled out of chest surgery to get a bullet out of him and he almost died. That's not outpatient surgery you just let somebody go from. Both doctors thought it was strange that Grace managed to remove Liam's inoperable brain tumor and cure him, something supposedly impossible. Grace moved Liam from the hospital to a private clinic and then to Bill's mansion, one after the other, just bam, bam, bam within hours. Finn was stunned and Bridget was furious with Grace. This coming week on Bold and the Beautiful, word spreads that Bill spent $1 million on a mystery surgery that was some sort of medical breakthrough. But was it really? I suspect Liam will mention to Finn how much his dad paid for that surgery. Not in a suspicious way, but more like, wow, my dad and I are in a really good place. He spent $1 million to save my life. I'm very grateful. That will trigger Finn and Bridget to start digging for answers about Grace's mystery procedure that apparently cost a mint. What can Finn and Bridget do since Grace isn't answering calls and messages and Bill can't even remember the miracle worker brain surgeon's name? First, Finn and Bridget can go back and look at Liam's old lab work for inconsistencies. Some of it should be legit, like the stuff from the brain bleed and the recent chest bullet surgery. Certain enzymes, proteins, and markers indicate cancer on blood tests. They could also pull Liam's brain scans from when he came into the ER with the brain bleed months ago. The scans from the brain bleed should be legit because Grace would have relied on them to operate on Liam's brain and stop the bleed. That part seems real, at least because we saw him bash his head, unconscious and bleeding out, when Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, found him, and then he flatlined at the hospital. So all that medical stuff up to that point we know was real. Liam has a long history of brain trauma. Bridget and Finn might look for scans of Liam's brain from the bleed, looking for signs of the tumor on that scan. There should also be signs of the brain bleed. MRI images are gone. Maybe Grace Buckingham covered her tracks and scrapped them. Finn keeps digging. He'll find that at some point Grace slipped up because this feels like a big con job about to be exposed. Finn and Bridget are also going to keep looking for Grace. She's not answering calls or messages and doesn't look like she's back at work. Maybe she's on the beach in Cancun sipping a margarita and living large on Bill's bucks. I'm curious to see if Grace has canceled her appointments and isn't coming to the hospital at all. Nobody's seen her. Finn and Bridget may check her apartment and see signs that Grace cleared out, packed bags, haphazard hangers with clothes gone. After getting Bill's money, Grace might have fled LA thinking no one will find her. Finn, though, is not the type to give up. He may reach out to Grace's daughter, Paris Buckingham, Diamond White. She's the last one of Grace's kids seen on Bold and the Beautiful. Zoe Buckingham, Kiara Barnes, has been gone for years. Finn might turn to Paris to see if she knows where her mom Grace is or someplace her mother might go. Then Finn may loop Bill in on all of his and Bridget's suspicions that it looks like Grace lied and maybe Liam never had cancer, which would be stunning. If Bill finds out Grace lied to Liam and drugged him to cause symptoms and let his son think he was dying, Dollar Bill would not stop until he hunted her down and made Grace pay. I think Finn may share his suspicions with Bill. But not with Liam, at least not now. This wouldn't be the first time the Buckingham family did something awful to Liam. Remember, Grace's ex-husband, Reese Buckingham, Wayne Brady, stole and sold baby Beth, and Liam and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, thought their daughter died. Maybe Grace knew about what Reese did to Hope and Liam and helped cover it before the truth came out or kept quiet. When the truth came out, everything straightened out. But that doesn't undo the trauma. Grace told Finn she felt guilty for what happened with Liam, Hope, and Beth. You would think Liam would be the last person Grace would further traumatize. But maybe she was so desperate she didn't care and just saw dollar signs. Starting this week on Bold and the Beautiful, Finn, Bridget, and Bill are on a journey to find out exactly what happened, what lies Grace told, and what she really did to Liam. I really hope to see Finn order a new MRI ASAP that confirms Grace didn't actually do brain surgery on Liam, and that it was just an incision on his scalp that never went any deeper. They stitched it up. It all starts with Liam being shocked that Bill spent big bucks on a miracle cure that may turn out to be nothing more than smoke and mirrors and a little bit of snake oil. Liam Spencer had been through countless heartbreaks, betrayals, near-death experiences, and brinks of madness. But nothing prepared him for the moment Dr. John Finn Finnegan walked into his hospital room with that unreadable look on his face. Liam had only gone in for what he assumed was a routine scan after experiencing recurring headaches and bouts of vertigo. Stress, he figured. Too much drama, too many women, too many second chances blown to pieces. But the hum of that heart monitor behind him suddenly felt louder, like a ticking clock, when Finn closed the door and didn't sit down. Liam, Finn began cautiously. We found something. The words landed like a blow. A lesion behind the left temporal lobe. It's pressing slightly against the optic nerve. It's likely benign, emphasis on likely, but it has to be removed. Liam's initial response was silence. Blank, paralyzing silence. For years, he had been the rescuer. The voice of reason. The apology king. The one who ran into burning buildings and emotional minefields with naive optimism. Now he was the one needing rescue. Wait, Liam finally said, swallowing hard. You're saying you have to open my skull? Finn's expression didn't soften. As both doctor and rival, his professionalism overpowered personal history. Within the week. Any longer and there's a risk of vision loss or seizures. Liam's breath trembled. He wasn't just facing scalpels and anesthesia. He was facing mortality. But that wasn't even the biggest shock coming his way. Because across town, Dollar Bill Spencer was about to change everything. Spencer Publications, Bill stood in his office, hands braced against his desk, staring out at the LA skyline like a king surveying his empire. Only today, the king was restless. Something darker simmered in his eyes. Something long buried. Justin entered with Liam's medical report. Bill had already made calls. When his son didn't answer his messages, he knew something was off. He had pulled strings to get answers the moment Liam checked into the hospital. Benign or not, Justin said, he's going under the knife. He's trying to downplay it, but it's serious. Bill didn't flinch. My son could die. Justin hesitated. You're going to see him? Oh, I'm going, Bill stated. And I'm not going just to pat him on the head and say Daddy's here. He straightened his tie with steel resolve. I'm going to tell him the truth. Back in the hospital, Liam sat alone, staring at his reflection in a darkened monitor screen. His thoughts spiraled. Would Hope cry for him? Would Steffi regret losing him? Would his daughters remember his voice? Would history remember him as the guy who couldn't make up his mind? Then he heard the click of the door. "Dad!" Bill strode in like a tornado in a tailored suit. No smile. No bravado. No punchline. He pulled a chair close. For once, the legendary Bill Spencer didn't dominate the room. He contained himself. "I heard," Bill said quietly. "I know."